the first that I come across Janet, I actually had no idea about the murder. I've already mentioned this in another talk. Her death certificate actually listed no cause of death. She died on March the 30th of 1866, and I, as I described before, missed this bit on the side here. So the way I actually, this is the Register of Corrected Entries, which, when you look at it, it says injuries inflicted on the head by someone unknown, as certified by Dr. Lang, Bridge of Erne, and Dr. Absalom of Perth, with dissected body. I missed that the first time, because I actually found this, the previous record, pretty much about maybe 3 or 4 months into me having started doing my family history research from the beginning, well over 10 years ago. So I had no idea about this. So what I actually did was, I assumed this was just an error. No idea why the record was missing. And all the information I had, I placed on my website. And it wasn't until about a year later that I got an email out of the blue from a gentleman called Greg Ross, who's based at Strathallan School in Forgandenny, who was writing a parish register, parish history. And Greg dropped me a note and said, look, I hate to tell you this, but I've actually discovered what's happened to this lady that died, and brace yourself, but she was murdered. I went, crikey. So what he said, he suggested that he would send me through a newspaper account, and he dropped me a note, and the newspaper account, mysterious murder near the Bridge of Erne. So what's the first thing that I do? I get in a car with my wife Claire, and Callum at the back there, who's only 2 at this point. We go for a drive to Perth. And we look up some more newspaper accounts at the Perth and Kinross archives. And then on the way back home, I say to Claire, do you know what? I think we should go and look and see where the farm is. And as we're getting closer to the farm, I'm going, do you know what? I think we should drive up the wee road. So we start driving up the wee road. And then I said to Claire, do you know what? I think we should just go and knock on the door. At which point Claire's going, you can't just knock on the door of some complete stranger and ask them if they know anything about a murder. And I went, bloody watch me. So anyway, I knocked on the door. I'm ex-BBC. I just keep asking questions until I get answers. So I knocked on the door and I said to this lady, and I hate to intrude, have you ever heard of anything a bit unusual happening in this building? Possibly terminal. She went, oh, you mean the murder? Come on in. So anyway, Claire is sitting in the car with her head in her hands at this point. Callum's just woken up. So we go inside the building and discover what had actually happened was different to what she thought had happened. She told us all these wonderful stories about how the village idiot apparently had committed the crime. The body had been stuffed in a press somewhere in the building, and all this turned out to be nonsense, but it was wonderful, you know. And at one point, she actually said to us, we were sitting in the sitting room area of the farm, and she made us a cup of tea, and she says, you know where the murder happened, don't you? I says, yeah, I've been reading the newspaper account, it was in the kitchen. She says, yeah, this used to be the kitchen. They found her there. At which point the teacup was quickly refilled.